Does he have enough fuel? Can he get the run off turn 4? Kyle Todd in the race lead. Does he have enough? Into 3 and 4. Both these drivers both saving in the entire run. Can he stretch enough fuel? Parker loose on the bottom. He's going to lose it. Kyle Todd, he's going to save enough fuel. He's going to win at Fontana.
Have to keep an eye on it. Just about he's going to get a good run, but Parker's going to shut the door. Behind him, their doors. Porter and Moreno.
Moreno's going to dive to the inside. They're in contact for lead with Porter and Moreno. But Parker, he's going to have a run. Does he dive in 3? He's going to go 3 wide. 3 wide for the teammates for the lead. Drag race to the line. Jaden Porter is going to win it. Quibi goes around off turn 2. Happy goes around as well. Big crash behind him. Cole Snyder is going to win the season opener at Atlanta. Down the back straightaway, here comes the outside lane. Cole Snyder getting pushed by Coden McCorkle. Nathan Lehman in the lead on the bottom with Giovanni Klein pushing. Zachary Meredith right there in third. Coming to the trial in a long time. It's Nathan Lehman. Climbs going to try and pull the side trap right at the line. Nathan Lehman is going to pick up the win. Ritter tries to clear. Almost clears himself, making contact with Klein. Klein gets to the wall.
Oh, Adams! Tell you why.
A big move.
What a move there.
Ryan Parker, side by side, to the line. It's going to be a drag race. Step up for now. They get pushed by Happy Head across the line by 1/1000th of a second. But Jonathan Parker, he locked it up at the end of stage 1. Jonathan Parker, our season 5 champion. Hello and welcome to the NAOR Cup Series race number 4 of the season here at Las Vegas. And we'll see who can come out on top and win in Sin City tonight. But first, we have to determine the pole for tonight's race. Giovanni Klein, he was the fastest in practice, so let's see if anyone can top that. If anyone can beat Giovanni Klein here in qualifying, as well, these drivers starting to get on the racetrack and getting ready to set their lap. It's Kyle Todd out on the racetrack right now. As so far, Kyle Todd getting up on the racetrack, getting down the back straightaway. He is the first driver on the racetrack. So see how Kyle Todd does on his lap. Under only 1 lap, 5 minutes here. Actually, never mind, it is 2 laps. They mixed up the Stampede recently, but Kyle Todd starts his first lap here down in the turn number 1, right, wraps around the bottom. It's Kyle Todd down the back straightaway. Let's see what he does here in turn number 3 and 4. He's going to the middle of the racetrack. To the top of the board here in just a second. But Kyle Todd across the line, 29.961, the first one to set a lap time. Let's see if anyone beats that time instantly. As Kyle Todd to the top, Brock Morris to the top. There's Sam Wade coming out from pit road. Hunter Sr. on his first lap. A lot of these drivers on lap number 2. Actually, is 1 lap qualifying. Sorry. So Zachary Tyler goes to 4th. So these drivers setting their lap times. Josh Adams hits the wall in his lap, and he's going to sacrifice that one and just call that one, forfeit that lap. Same way through 3 and 4. Let's see if he can get to the top of the board. Brock Morris, a 29.932. Can Sam Wade top it here coming off of turn number 4? Down to the line, Sam Wade's 30.565. That will not go to the top of the board. That will go P13. Josh Adams, Josh Arnold. Josh Arnold coming to the line here. The timer's a little messed up there. That time was a 30.262. Nathan Lamont completed both of his laps. He just jumped to the top of the board. Here comes. Yeah, Nathan Lamont jumps to the top of the board, 49.895. We'll see if Jonathan Parker, does he have anything to say for this lap time? Dylan Chappell, he just started his lap. Jonathan Parker, see if he can take the pole. Down into turn number 1, Jonathan Parker. Right on that white line. Up at the bottom of the racetrack. He took the pole last week. Can he go back to back for the pole position? Going out of the turn number 3. Looks good for Jonathan Parker. Let's take a look at Dylan Chappell coming across the line. 30.066. Not going to be good enough. Jonathan Parker coming to the line. Is it enough to beat Nathan Lehman? 9.78. No, it's not. It'll go P6. Josh Adams still sitting in pit road. Here's Chris Wright on his first lap. Off of turn number 4. Chris Wright coming to the line. Is it going to be enough for the pole? 8.60. Yes, it is. Chris Wright to the top of the board. The last second lap time. Steven Maggio, the one last driver on the racetrack. Down the back straightaway, Steven Maggio, the only driver left to set a lap time. Can Steven Maggio, can he make it through turn number 3 and 4? Does he have enough to get into the line? Looks good through 3 and 4. Maggio to the line. 9.24, not going to be enough. He'll slot in a very solid P3, but that means Chris Wright will take the pole for tonight's race. As Chris Wright, a great lap there in those last few seconds, but 3 drivers not setting a time: Josh Adams, Mike Campbell, and Ethan Fonseca Moreno. So Adams and Moreno not having a clean lap, so did not get invalidated. So it got invalidated, and they did not get a clean lap in. So Moreno and Josh Adams, they did have a lap on the board, but it was invalidated, so they did not get it. Mike Campbell, he did not attempt to qualify at all. But now these drivers grid up for tonight's race. But Chris Wright on the pole for the DI9 Designs Pole Award. These drivers get on to the grid. So now, as these drivers grid up, let's take a look at our Coulter's Cards starting lineup here from Las Vegas. As we just saw, Chris Wright take the pole with a 29.859, 36 thousandths faster than Nathan Lehman. As Nathan Lehman will start second alongside Chris Wright. Starting third tonight will be the 51 Robin Hood Steven Maggio, and Brock Morris will start in the 4th in the high side podcast machine. Starting 5th tonight will be Hunter Sr. Alongside him will be Kyle Taub. Starting 7th tonight will be Zachary Tyler. In the 48 of Jonathan Parker, he'll start 8th tonight. Starting 9th tonight will be the 24 machine of Cole Snyder, and Mark Kisma, the 15 machine, will round out our top 10. Nick Kapiak will start 11th tonight in that 6th machine. Hunter Peach will start 12th. Josh Otto will start 13th in the Go Time Cars 22 machine, and Braden Holt will start 14th in that 54 machine. Dill Chappell in the 99 machine will start 15th. Alongside him will be the 81 of John Osborne. Jared Skinner will start 7th in Zach Meredith will start 18. Donnie Kite will start 19th. Giovanni Klein will start 20th. Starting 21st will be the 27 of Sam Wade. Justin Kobe will start 22nd. Ethan Fonseca Moreno will start 23rd. Josh Adams will start 24th. And Mike Campbell in the 71 machine will round out our 25 car field here tonight. So now the drivers will roll off to get this race underway. So do have one extra pace lap. So Chris Wright, our pole sitter. While we have a moment, let's bring in our pole sitter of Chris Wright, able to pick up the pole with a great lap time there. How are you going to be able to use that pole position to your advantage?
Qualifying there at night, it was 40-degree track temp difference there when we qualified. So it's kind of everybody knew there was going to be more grip. You just didn't know how much. And now here we are back in the race, and it's the mid-afternoon again. Track's going to be slick. It's going to be all about tire saving. Probably going to give up some track position here on the short run. It's going to be real slick out here. You're going to want to save the tires. If you burn them up, they'll be gone in 5 or 7 laps. So it's nice to have the first pit box. Nice to be able to start on the pole. It's the first pole of the year for us, I believe. So it's nice to kind of have another check mark there. But this race is going to be all about tire saving, staying patient, and making sure you got some tires at the end of these runs. Because I believe we've only got 5 sets, and if we run 3 laps, we're going to want them again. So it's going to be having to make sure we don't get them too often.
All right, well, congrats again on the pole, and good luck in the race.
All right, thanks, guys. Hopefully it's a good show for you.
So that was Chris Wright, our DI9 Designs pole winner. As we'll see how he can control the field up front with that pole position. As you heard it first, tire saving going to be a big factor tonight. So we'll see how well these drivers can save their tires, especially with this very hot racetrack, as you mentioned. Let's take a look at our weather for tonight, as 71-degree ambient temperature, 109-degree track temp, very hot racetrack, partly cloudy skies, 10-mile-per-hour winds going to the southeast, and 18% relative humidity. So really hot track temps. These tires are going to be very, very important to be saving. But tonight we have 116 stages on lap 29 and 58, as we're getting ready to go for the next 116 laps here from Las Vegas. And we will see who can pick up race number 3 and win race number 3 here in the season. Pace car, we're going to take that hard left turn onto pit road. Chris Wright, Nathan Lehman to the restart zone. Green flag is in the air. We're underway here at Las Vegas. Number 2 down the back straightaway. Everyone fans out. A couple lanes 3 wide. Down to the turn number 1 and 2. Side by side for second still between Maggio and Lehman, but Lehman will fall back to third. So he'll try and slot in line. And how hot the track is, everyone's probably want to try and slot in line as quick as possible and just save those tires right at the bottom of the racetrack. We'll see how aggressive some of these drivers will get up top and try and make some moves up there. As you see Kyle Todd up against the outside lane, side by side with Brock Morris for that 4th place spot. It's now they clear up as everyone moves up to the top lane. Back to the bottom goes that one machine there of Hunter Sr. to try and get to the inside of Jonathan Parker. And Jonathan Parker, though, on the outside getting pushed by Cole Snyder. Side by side, as they're now side by side between Kyle Taub and Nathan Lehman for third. Great machine trying to move up a little bit in the track position. Kyle Taub running way up against the racetrack. Way up on the racetrack, pretty much the highest on the racetrack. Second highest, but down the back straightaway. He's had a great run once again. Down to the turn number 3 and 4. Kyle Taub going to be cleared for Steven Maggio for second. Now, how aggressive he's going to be for this race lead on Chris Wright. They pull away just a little bit. A single file through the field behind him. All panning out behind him. Now Chris Wright under attack from Kyle Taub as Kyle Taub goes around the outside there, and Kyle Taub now to the race lead. So Kyle Taub wants that clean air early. He's going to try and control this race. Jonathan Parker, North Kissweather side by side behind them. Now 3 wide down to the turn 1. Is that 47 machine on the bottom? Hunter Peach trying to make some moves. Down the back straightaway, going into turn number 3. Hunter Peach on the bottom, trying to get to the inside of Mark Kissweather. Kissweather's using the outside lane to his advantage, getting a few extra spots. Side by side between Mark Kissweather and Nathan Lehman. Lehman on the bottom of the racetrack. Checking up from the center a little bit, has to check up from the dirtier Steven Maggio, but now Kissweather, he will clear Maggio for third. start to see really burn off their tires after about probably 10-15 laps. Start to see these drivers start to just really slip and slide around, especially with this very hot racetrack. Because you get very hot, you start to see the drivers really slip and slide around. But Braden Holt looking on the bottom, looking for the first pass on the bottom we've seen tonight. On the outside lead, not much help as Josh Adams pushes Braden Holt. But here comes Chris Wright looking to the inside for the race lead down the turn number 3. Will pull alongside, so the shorter distance through the corner. Can he side drive Kyle Taub off the corner? I think he will. Taub a little bit high off the corner. Almost got the wall a little bit there, but Chris Wright, shorter distance. Pull alongside here in the turn number 1 and 2. Kyle Taub did not clear like he wanted to. Kyle Taub holds it outside as much as he can. Not too aggressive on pinning down that 28 of Chris Wright. They say side-by-side for Lehman. Top's to be a little bit careful. Don't want to over-push your tires up there. You can easily overheat those tires running that outside lane. Still side-by-side for lead as they go down the front straightaway across the line. Complete lap number 8. Down in the turn 1. Top on the outside lane. Cleared by Chris Wright, but Chris Wright can give him the run. Doing the outside lane is Chris Wright now all alone down on the bottom. Mark Kissel back in line down to the bottom to save those tires when he's hopping back up on the straightaway behind Kyle Taub as these two still side by side lead. Now Hunter Pete trying to make his move up through the field. But we have a caution out of the racetrack. Cole Snyder goes around to the back. Multiple cars around. I believe they had a few others. The first caution of the night. Take a look at what happened there. So all coming off turn number 4. So down the back straightaway, Cole Snyder right in front of Braden Holt as they enter turn number 3 and 4. Snyder way up the racetrack. Oh, but Braden Holt slips up a little bit, gets into Cole Snyder, a little bit of net code there. They both made contact around Cole Snyder went. I believe they had a few others in front that also made some contact. Let's take a look at that one really quickly. So made contact there with Braden Holt and Cole Snyder. They kind of all just checked up, lost a few other spots. But everyone down pit road as Hunter Peach and Chris Wright, they actually stay on the racetrack. Everyone else will come down pit road for tires. A few others. It's about half and half here. A few pits for tires. Off pit road, first coming out was Josh Adams. Actually, Nathan Lamont first coming out pit road. So a few drivers only taking fuel. So that is a very interesting call because the fuel window around 48 laps. Now that was 49 laps, 50 laps. That was just the default run. So started with 105 to go. Now, that was based off of practice, as we heard from Chris Wright. Practice was a little colder than what we have in the race, so the track temp a lot hotter. That's going to allow these drivers to maybe go a little bit longer on fuel, so maybe they can go about 52 laps on fuel. And if they're not shifting, they can go a little bit farther. I don't really think you're shifting in the first place here at Vegas, but they could be. But that could allow a little bit of fuel-saving strategy and make this sort of one-stop for some of these drivers. So Nathan Lamont, Donnie Kite, Jared Skidder, Giovanni Klein, all coming down for fuel only, and Cole Center as well. Everyone else came down took 4 tires. As Sam Wade, Josh Arnold actually coming out and topping it off. Stephen Bradenholt and John Osborne. So 3 drivers coming out and topping it off. So they'll have to go 104 laps. So they have to go 52 laps on fuel percent. So we'll see if those drivers can make it on the one stop. That doesn't mean if you. That also means if you get on the caution, that really that strategy. We'll see how that works out for those drivers topping on there. first caution of the night. Only 5 drivers stay out on the racetrack, so they're not gonna be able to make it on a one-stop strategy. Probably Chris White, Hunter Pete, Jack Meredith, and Dylan Chappell stay out, and Nick Capiak. Next 3 behind him took fuel only. Giovanni Klein took 2 tires. Majority of the field behind him took 4, so those drivers will rip through the field probably a lot quicker. Pace car pulls onto pit road, and Chris Wright leads up back to green flag back in the air here. Took lap number 13, but also keep in mind 29 laps for stage 1, so those drivers who just took tires, they're going to be able to get up to the front and pick up some extra valuable stage points. So that could be worth it as well. Got 3 wide in the back here, maybe a little bit of contact between Jonathan Parker there. Jonathan Parker and Zachary Tyler made a little bit of contact in 1 and 2, but 3 wide right in front of him. Mark Kisco, these drivers on new tires should have worked their way through. Nathan Lamont, he took fuel only, but the first driver on new tires, Kyle Taub. That 3 machine right up on the outside lane to try and make some early grounds on these fresh tires, but Hunter Peach around the outside, side by side with Chris Wright down the back straightaway, down to the inside though. Zachary Meredith 3 wide, the lead is in turn number 3. Chris Wright gonna back out of it. He'll fall back to 3rd, but Hunter Peach on the outside lane trying to make it work. Zachary Meredith slots back behind him. As he's top 5, then it stayed out of the racetrack. Still our top 5. First driver, all 4 tires still. It's not actually Kyle Taub, but he's up to 7th. He's gonna work his way by Jared Skinner and Dylan Chappell. But side by side for lead still between Meredith and Peach as Meredith moves back to the outside lane. Trying to get this early race lead, trying to get some track position. Knowing that you're about halfway through stage 1 now, so you're racing for the end of the stage. But caution out again, Jonathan Parker. Jonathan Parker's around off of turn number 4 down the front straightaway, and he is. And our second caution of the night. Let's take a look at what happened. Zachary Tyler on the bottom, makes a little bit of contact, spins Parker around. Brings out our second caution of the night. Parker just came and took tires too, so that's going to be unfortunate, as his tires are going to be a little worn down already. While we're under this caution flag, we're going to take a step away. We're going to be right back here from Las Vegas.
njbdesigns.com, we specialize in transforming your vehicle into a work of art by revolutionizing the way you see your car with the hottest trends in sim racing. Choose from a wide range of colors, textures, finishes to promote your business and sponsors in style. Whether you're looking to add a sleek matte finish, a flashy chrome accent, or a custom design that turns heads, our designers have you covered. If you want to stand out in the crowd, visit njbdesigns.com today and let our team of professionals transform your vision into reality.
Welcome back here to Las Vegas as we just had our second caution of the night as John Parker went first spin off the turn 4. A little bit of contact with Zachary Tyler, but that brings in our second caution of the night, and it makes that fuel question that of those drivers who pitted and topped off that last caution. Now that makes it probably a little bit easier for them to make it on a one-stop strategy. But now Zachary the control car, not race leader. He takes the outside lane. Hunter Peach will be on the inside. The green flag back in the air here from Las Vegas. And great launch for the 17 machine of Zach Meredith. Nick Capiak, Chris Wright side by side as he enters turn 1. Kyle Todd right there, right behind him. It's Kyle Todd, first jumper on fresh tires as he's trying to make his way through the field. He's going to get clear of Nick Capiak, and now he's going to push Hunter Peach. Clear Chris Wright going into turn number 3 and 4 as Kyle Todd way up the racetrack. Once there's extra track position, Chris Wright will look to contact off of turn number 4, but down the front straightaway. Chris Wright really loses a lot of momentum there. They're going to stay side by side for third now. It's Kyle Todd on the outside with Josh Adams. As Josh Adams also on fresh tires as well. So the two drivers on fresh tires are battling for P3. Off of turn number 4 down the French runway. Tom's going to get a little bit into the wall. He'll clear Josh Adams to that position. Mark Kiswell also on fresh tires compared to our race leaders. He's trying to get by Josh Adams as he will clear there into 1. 100 feet runs up higher just to give Kyle Todd the dirty air for P number 2. They're still really battling back here behind. That's Braden Holt, Chris Wright side by side. Now right in front of him, Nick Capac to the inside of Giovanni Klein. Back up front, Kyle Todd tries to run off turn 4. Now Mark Kiswell side by side with Josh Adams. Now they single file out. Nick Capiak single file is out. But Braden Holt holds side by side, holds the nose just over the outside of Nick Capiak down the 1. Not going to work, but now Hunter Peach under attack from Kyle Todd. As Todd uses the outside lane to his advantage. As we'll see how aggressive will he be for this race lead as we're coming to 5 laps, not 5 laps to it yet, but to a few laps to go only in this stage. Laps are running out here in stage number 1. Now keep in mind, this year, no stage caution, so they will keep racing. Side by side for second is Kyle Todd. He held up by Hunter Peach there. That's only helping Zachary Meredith out in front. Side by side for second still is Mark Kiswell. They're supposed to follow through on the outside lane. Now he's got the middle open. Now he's going to try to stick his toes in there, but Hunter Peach, much better on the bottom, still stays alongside as Zach Meredith pulling away from the race lead. But side by side now for third is Hunter Peach holding well on those wall tires out in front. Mark Kiswell side by side with Kyle Todd down in turn number 3. Kyle Todd leaders now of Mark Kissweather. Josh Adams side by side now with Mark Kissweather as well, but Mark Kissweather slots behind Josh Adams. Right behind him, Braden Holt working his way up through the field as he did top off. With Mark Kissweather and when Mark Kissweather and all those drivers pitted out in front of him. So Braden Holt works his way from the back after topping off. He's also on the fresher tires compared to the rest of the field though, so that's why how quick he was able to make it through the field. He did have to make it through the field a lot of other guys on fresh tires. Braden Holt having some great speed tonight. But Zachary Meredith, big mistake off of turn number 2, off of turn 4 into 1. That's going to Hunter Peach to the lead. A little bit of contact with Josh Adams there. But Mark Kissweather now goes to the bottom. They're almost going to be 4 wide to the back straightaway, and it's going to end in tragedy. Josh Adams goes around, and that's actually no caution. Thought that would be the caution there, but they keep it together. They all keep it straight, no caution. But Josh Adams goes around. And Braden Holt as well, and that's going to lose them a lot of time. But Zachary Meredith, Hunter Peach still are racing to the top 2 as Mark Kissweather now cycles to the first driver on fresh tires. But there's our caution. As I believe they finally went around into turn number 1 and Mike Campbell around in turn 1. And that brings out our third caution of the night. Let's take a look at what happened there. Really, that all transpired with this battle out in front of them. This all started with Braden Holt, Josh Adams, Kyle Taub, Mark Kissweather, Braden Holt. So 1 lap later. So next time by, we'll see Josh Adams moves to the bottom. Moves to the bottom of Kyle Taub as they're going to be side by side for third. All these drivers are battling for this position, trying to catch those race leaders on fresh tires. But Zachary Meredith very slow into 1 for some reason, but that checks up these drivers here. And now that shakes them all up the racetrack. And Josh Adams has to give space to Holt and Taub as they're 4 wide. And that makes contact there, and they all stay together. That really shakes up the field as they all lose a lot of time and a lot of spots. But then this starts with Mike Campbell. This is how the caution comes out here in turn number 1. But just a lot of stuff happens that causes this wreck. But down to the turn 1, Mike Campbell moves up, but they're contact. Check up on the outside lane to send Josh Adams around into Mike Campbell, and that bring out the caution there into turn number 1. Mike Campbell nowhere to go. Unfortunate, innocent bystander there. We do have a few other takers while Hunter Peach, he stays out on the racetrack. But that brings out our third caution of the night, and that will also end the stage. So Hunter Peach, our stage 1 winner, there with that caution as well. We'll bring in our stage winner of Hunter Peach as he stayed out a couple of cautions ago, able to pick up the stage win. Not able to do it.
Just execution to say the least. You know, just stayed out, hope the tires managed, and 4 tires were good there, but I need a tire for that kill.
And you're able to hold off a lot of drivers on those fresh tires and got that caution right at the perfect time. And we'll see how you take 4 tires. Well, we'll see if you take it 4 tires or 2 tires here as you go up on the right side, left side. So 4 tires there. But congrats on the stage win and good luck in the rest of this.
Yes, sir, Jumpman.
So that was Hunter Peach, our stage 1 winner, as he did stay out that extra lap to get that stage point. Hunter Peach, our stage winner, pitting there from the race lead. So he was the only driver that did not pit this race, but now everyone has pitted at least once this race. Now they're lining up side by side, up in front now. So getting ready to go back racing here from Las Vegas. Shivani Klein, our race leader, chooses the outside lane, hits the loud pedal. We're back on the way here from Vegas. Steve DiMaggio gets cleared easily, and Nathan Lemon clears Jared Skinner. So now the top four single file out. So side by side behind Mark Kissweather and Zachary Meredith, as they're side by side for that 5th place spot, but they're going to single file it back out there. But pretty much everyone came down here from that time by. When we're looking at that replay. Now Steve DiMaggio looks to the inside for the race lead on Giovanni Klein. Side by side off of turn number 4. Maggio on the bottom, Klein on the outside lane. Haven't really seen tire wear play a factor yet tonight. Probably saw it because some of the drivers pitted, but we really haven't got to run longer than 15 laps. We'll see if we can settle in now, as that was the end of stage number 1. So stage number 2 will be the end of lap number 58. Off of turn number 4 down the front straightaway. Giovanni Klein still holds the race lead, but Nathan Lemon side by side with Mark Kissweather. Nathan Lemon, he did also pit for 4 tires as well. He did stay out that last time, so that's been at 16 laps ago, so he could have that second caution for 4 tires. Now Mark Kissweather and Giovanni Klein side by side for the lead as they're battling behind them, swapping for positions. Zach Meredith on the inside, trying to rake his way up through the field. He's trying to reclaim that race lead he had before that last caution. Mark Kissweather up in front, clears up in front of Giovanni Klein for the race lead. As now side by side back for third, as we've seen a lot of very close racing here in Vegas so far. Seems to be very draft dependent. They haven't really had a chance to see the tires kind of fall off and then start to spread out a little bit. That allows them now to side by side with Steve DiMaggio and Giovanni Klein. As Klein's still running in the middle of the racetrack. As they stay side by side for third, but here comes Mark Kissweather under attack from Zachary Meredith. Meredith down to the bottom, going to clear Kissweather for the lead, but now side by side with Maggio and Klein once again. Dylan Schappels, you see those two side by side right in front of him, and now Giovanni Klein going to try and carry them over to the outside lane and try and get to the outside of Mark Kissweather. Out for there off of turn number 4. Down the front straightaway. Mark Kissweather. But they're 3 wide behind him now. 3 wide behind Mark Kissweather. Giovanni Klein is up the racetrack. There's Dylan Schappel. Stephen Maggio still in the middle there. As Klein clears for second on Mark Kissweather. But still 3 wide for 4th. Snyder on the bottom, Maggio's a little loose up the racetrack. Almost gets to the chapel, but Snyder loses a lot of time down there on the bottom as Kyle Taub trying to follow his way through. A lot of battles happening here. The side by side for that 4th place spot is Maggio on the bottom. It really just sees a lot of these drivers. One driver moves to the top lane and tries to get some extra track position. One driver sitting at the bottom loses a little bit of too much track position, and then they move to the top and try and gain that track position back. And it's kind of a swap between that. See who uses the outside lane better to their advantage, but they're battling side by side for a second, allowing Zach Ramirez to pull away by now half a second over the rest of the field. As Giovanni Klein finally cleared for a second, but now Mark Kissweather out of the green. He's been able to clear, but Dylan Chappell all over the back home for Giovanni Klein. And that's going to check him up, but Steven Maggio very loose through turn 4. He's going to hold on to a great save for Steven Maggio. But I think we're starting to see that tire where it's come into play, as he was one of those drivers who stayed at that last caution. And now you really starting to see Steven Maggio really starting to struggle on those older tires. Giovanni Klein, one of those drivers as well that did stay out, so he's last pitted 30 laps ago. Shows our first caution of the night. That's when he pitted. Giovanni Klein is starting to fall off on the tire wear here. I don't know if he can see if he can make it to about 52 to go. We have a lot more to go there. He would have to make it to lap 56. Side by side between Dylan Chappell and Cole Snyder now. As Kyle Saab, he finally got single filed out, along with Mark Kissweather, Zach Ramirez. We're really starting to see the tire wear starting to come into play now. Actually, so apologies. Clyde has to make it 66 to make it on one stop. So we'll see if he can make it that far. A couple cautions to save him a little bit more. About lap 65. That's on the earliest they can probably pit and make it to the finish. Still might have to do a little bit of saving, but now we're starting to see the field starting to spread out a little bit. So now everyone kind of calms down now. Everyone's sliding back in line, but now Chris Wright should have moved his way back up through the field. Side by side with Nathan Lamont right behind Chris Wright. Wade on the bottom, he's going to clear out that front of Lamont, and it's going to work. Sam Wade able to clear Nathan Lamont. Chris Wright trying to work his way back up to the field after that pit stop. Josh Russell up the racetrack, and now Chris Wright moves down to the bottom. Stay side by side for that 11th place spot. And Josh Arnold still side by side for this position. Steven Maggio and Giovanni Klein, they're starting to fall back now. But they're kind of playing a roadblock because now everyone now in front of them is all spread out. These drivers are struggling to get by these drivers with older tires and staying out on the racetrack. Drivers have to go probably about 21 laps to safely make it to the finish. Which will be 57. Giovanni Klein, but it could be a little bit shorter. Maybe only 50 for Jared Skinner. So Skinner loses a lot of time there as he backs it off and lets everyone go there. Oh, but Nathan Lamont, big boost off the corner. He's able to hold on to him, but now Chris Wright side by side with Sam Wade. So he's not able to get by Josh Arnold. Josh Arnold fighting well from the outside, but Mark Kissweather battling for the race lead now off into number 2. Kissweather on the bottom, Meredith was on the outside. And while all that battle happens in the back of the pack is But now we got a battle for the race lead as Kissweather starting to make some ground up on the bottom. He chased down Zach and Meredith, our race leader. Down into turn number 1 and 2. Zach and Meredith clears Mark Kissweather. Meredith still holds the outside lane, trying to hold off Mark Kissweather. But you can see the outside lane starting to struggle as the outside lane really starting to fall off, and Mark Kissweather making a lot of ground on the bottom, but just can't get the moved up. But we have a caution back out of the racetrack. Same way, Josh Arnold around off of turn number 4, and that brings out another caution here tonight. Let's take a look at what happened there. A little bit of contact with Bonnie Klein and Josh Arnold, and hard hits for Sam Wade and Josh Arnold. I think that will probably end their night. So those pretty hard impacts. Might be okay there, but starts with Josh Arnold out in front. Oh, he gets loose and overcorrect, so no impact from Bonnie Klein there, but then he gets loose, comes back down and into Sam Wade, and they both go for a synchronized spin up against the outside wall there. Zach and Meredith is able to hold the race lead over Mark Kissweather. Now that brings out the caution. Now it's going to be right around the end of stage number 2, as we're not too far away from it here. Everyone's going to make it down the pit road. Zach and Meredith will come in to pit road, take 4 tires and a full tank of fuel. Now, if you see anyone try to take maybe 2 tires for the stage win, try to get some extra stage points. It's Mike Campbell. He did stay out on the racetrack. Last pitted 23 laps ago. Chris Wright also staying out as well. Actually, no, Chris Wright just put pit road. So just like back out, but everyone takes 4 tires. But now Kissweather, much better stop, able to get out in front. But Mike Campbell stays out on the racetrack. Donnie Kite as well. Restart with 4 laps to go here in the stage. And also, Mike Campbell staying out there. That's going to trap Donnie Kite, 100 Peach, another lap down. As they were trying to hope to stay out and get the wave around. But Mike Campbell down the older tires. We'll see how much he can hold off. We get some extra stage. Get some extra stage points. Mike Campbell, he's using the outside, so we're going to restart with 4 to go here in stage number 2. So see if we can pick up the stage win. No caution at the end of the stages, so how this plays out for Mike Campbell. And he could try and stay out as long as he can, stay out and maybe get to that fuel window with about 52-ish to go, 50-ish to go. And then Mike Campbell can pit pretty early, but it's not going to be much of a tire difference. Undercut. It could work out. Could be a different strategy. Mike Campbell is playing the pace car. Takes that hard left turn on the pit road. Green flag back in the air as Mike Campbell gets a shove from Kyle Taub. As everyone else behind him on 4 fresh tires. Side by side, but Giovanni Klein goes around on the start. And that's where we have the caution. Dylan Chappell goes around. A few others go around as well, I believe. But that brings out the caution. And Mike Campbell, this could work out for him great. As that might be the stage win for him. Let's take a look at what happened. It's mainly started with Giovanni Klein. Dylan Chappell also got involved here. But on the restart, Mike Campbell and Mark Kissenweather on the front row. But, Jonathan Parker goes out of the bottom. And Giovanni Klein blocks it. And Dylan Chappell got turned there. Hard hit to the inside tire barrier for Dylan Chappell. To the inside wall there. See a lot of damage to fix for Dylan Chappell. But Mike Campbell holds the lead. I believe that will be the stage. So stay out there. Not sure. I think the stage is at the end of lap 58 no matter what. So Mike Campbell, he will get the stage win. As Josh Adams, he will get the wave around. So we'll be coming to 1 to green. So we're gonna restart. Coming to lap 59. So it's kind of the stage 2 is kind of going to be a race to the line here on the restart. Take the 1 to go signal next time by. So Mike Campbell, strategy call there. Very bold strategy call to stay out. And it paid off. He got a quick cut caution that's going to give him the stage win. And that's very important bonus points there. Very important stage points for Mike Campbell. You've seen how important stage points were for some people last season. These extra points can matter big time for Mike Campbell. To 1 to go, and the white flag for stage number 2. So that will also bring us halfway in this race. Mike Campbell last pitted 28 laps ago. Out if he gets enough cautions and then he gets to the fuel window. So if he gets maybe a caution, maybe about 2-3 more laps, and everyone will probably want to pit and top it off on fuel at least. He could work out for him a little bit extra track position. So strategy call for Mike Campbell. When he crosses the line this time, he will be officially the stage 2 winner, assuming he doesn't get a slow launch here. Good go, Mark Kissenweather. Kissenweather gets a really good launch. Mike Campbell on the old tires. Mark Kissenweather, our race leader, on fresh tires. Leader on fresh tires, so he's in second. So we'll see how much longer Mike Campbell can hold, how long he can hold out in front. Base car takes the hard left turn on to pit road into the Geico restart zone. And we are back underway here from Las Vegas, and that completes stage number 2. As Mike Campbell, he will pick up the stage number 2 win. 58 down, 58 to go. Here from Vegas, here in Sin City, the side-by-side with Nick Kapiak and Martin Kissweather for second. As Cole Snyder with a great launch there on the outside lane, as now he's going to push down to the bottom, take it out of the bottom on Mike Campbell, and it's Cole Snyder to the race lead here off of turn number 4. Down the first straightaway into turn number 1 and 2. This time by will be 56 laps to go. Kyle Top trying to work that outside lane to his advantage. Trying to get around to Mike Campbell as Mike Campbell on the older tires, just trying to hold on to some track position, trying to catch a caution when this fuel window opens. 3 wide off of turn number 4. That's going to be a little sketchy as Jonathan Parker almost goes around. Now the 3 wide behind him with Maggio, Tom, and Meredith. Meredith on the bottom, Tom up the top. But now Mike Campbell 3 wide with those drivers. It's now Kyle Tom getting a little slowed up behind him, and out side by side for second between Hapiak and Kissweather. That's Kissweather to the outside. He's going to clear down in front of Hapiak. That's now Parker and Lehman side by side. Parker a slow start to today. He's trying to work his way up through the field as he did not have the qualifying he hoped for. They try to show that extra pace and try to pick up another win. He's won a lot of times in the series. He won our season opener at Auto Club. Who won? But 3 wide. Kyle Todd down, clear in front of Hunter Peach. Well, clear in front of Zach here. Side by side between Nathan Lehman in the 20 machine of Ethan Passacarino. As Moreno having a quiet night as well. He's working his way up through the field. Moreno and Parker. Both 2 very dominant cars last season. 2 very dominant cars these past 2 races. They're now trying to find their footing into this race as they did not have the start they would hope for. This time by will reach 53 to go, so that fuel window I think is going to start to open here. So we'll see when drivers will start to make their pit stops. Side by side between Lehman and Meredith. Is now Meredith. Moreno down to the bottom on Maggio. Maggio on the outside. Got to hold off Moreno for that position, and he will for now. Martin Kissweather trying to chase down Cole Snyder for the race lead as he was getting close there in the 3. Also the time down the first straightaway. Down to the off of turn number 2. Single following out, but now Josh Adams needs to move on Nathan Lehman for 9th, sorry. Adams side by side with Lehman and Skinner right behind him. Donnie Kite on the outside lead. Single following out, but now Kite trying to work his way up. Donnie Kite is also a few laps down. Donnie Kite actually 8 laps down, so he's trying to drive up the field. Mark Kissweather all in the back bumper. Cole Snyder now for the race lead as Nick Kapiak side by side with Kissweather on the bottom. As Hapiak trying to make some ground on the bottom with the shorter distance. He's going to clear in front of Kissweather off of 4. But Parker going to use this to his advantage as well. Try to close the gap up to the race lead. That's 3 wide behind him though, with Moreno in the middle, Tom on the outside, and Maggio down on the bottom. Maggio with the shorter distance will clear both of them, but now Meredith going to follow through the bottom. They're going to be staggered 3 wide off the turn number 2. So double file back out between Meredith and Moreno. These drivers trying to move their way up through the field. He's out with 50 to go that time by. See how the fuel window is open. That time by, we hit 49 to go. Hapiak trying to get up in front of Parker. Not going to work. Parker goes to the outside, side by side for 3rd. And Jonathan Parker, our defending champion, our reigning champion, trying to get up to the race lead. It's not clear now, but now he's clear of Nick Capiak, and now Steven Maggio trying to work his way up. He clears Nick Capiak. Now Kissweather looks as though he's down at the bottom of the lead, but he knows the inside not going to be the best way to pass. He gets that clean air on the nose, but tries to go around the outside of Snyder. Snyder still holds the lead. Kissweather down to the bottom. Gets that clean air all over the front nose as Snyder's really running up the racetrack. You can see the back end start to give out a little bit there. He started to lose a little bit of tire grip. These drivers are now about 15 laps on their tires. Green flags, there's 17 laps on their tires. They have their caution there, so we're getting to that around that 15 lap range on this set of tires. Now Steven Maggio down to the bottom on Jonathan Parker. Jonathan Parker, great move so far. He's got to work his way just inside the top 10. Now he's up to third. And side by side for the race lead is Mark Kissweather. Goes to the lead, and he's going to clear Cole Snyder off the corner. And it's going to work. Mark Kissweather up to the race lead. Bashar most positions gained. Ethan Montecarlo, Josh Adams, both up 15 spots today. Zach Meredith up 13, and Mike Campbell up 10. So those drivers making their way through the field tonight and doing pretty well for themselves. Single file from behind them. Now Steven Maggio trying to make the move on the bottom. Side by side with Meredith down the back straightaway entering turn number 3. So fuel window is open, so we couldn't see any of these drivers try. Drivers to try and come down pit road soon. Probably expected to split this around 30 laps. What did pit that last caution? Should maybe try a fuel save. I don't think anyone's really going to try that. The last one's a bit just like running line as they were involved in that last lap. They are 1 lap down. So the next one that was close to the pit was Ethan Von Second, Renault, and Josh Adams. So those two are they go the longest on fuel. But they would have to go about 56 laps on fuel, so maybe that's a lot to ask for. Actually, not even 56 laps they're gonna go. They gotta go pretty much 60 laps to Zach Meredith. Big moment down the front straightaway as he's really slow into 1. Let's take a look at what happened there. Oh, really loose off of turn 4. Through the grass he went. Did a little bit of lawn mowing. And lost a lot of time. And that's going to cost Meredith a lot of time. Now we're starting to see those drivers struggle with your tire grip as Cole Snyder. He's falling back behind Jonathan Parker. As now Jonathan Parker up to second. Going to try and chase down Mark Kissweather for the race lead. Off of turn number 2, Cole Snyder on the outside lane. Steven Maggio side by side for that 3rd place spot. Down into turn number 3. Maggio on the bottom. Snyder trying to pull what he can on the outside, but those rear tires starting to give away. As you see, Steven Maggio clears for 3rd as Snyder starting to struggle with the tires. Probably won't want to stay out too much longer. Drivers are 24 laps on tires, so you're probably starting to see most of the field come down with about 30 to go. You could see a 2-tire strategy call. That could probably work out as Tristan quickly pits as he's 10 laps down. Sitting there at 21st, he did speed on pit road. struggles. Big loose off of turn 4 there as Kyle Todd has to take a little bit of evasive action there. As Cole Snyder really starting to struggle there, but Josh Adams, he pits. As he was one that was shortest on tires, so he pits. As he falls back to 14th, down pit road he goes. He'll come down, see if he takes 4 tires or 2. Makes it down pit road cleanly, and still take 4 tires and a full tank of fuel. Marcus want to stay out of the racetrack. This Cole Snyder, does he come down anytime soon? Because he's really starting to struggle with this tire wear. He was our race leader, now he's falling back to 5th. You really start to see those rear tires start to give away. And now Steven Maggio trying to work the bottom of Jonathan Parker. Not going to do the work there. Down the back straightaway, entering the turn 3, but now you kind of see the pavement starting to get a little darker as now we're starting to get a little bit of shade over the racetrack that can cool these tires down, help them enough. But Mike Gable, he'll come down as he did stay at that last caution. Now he stopped pulling away from the rest of the field. Cole Snyder sitting there in 4th. Marcus trying to pull away from Jonathan Parker, and Jonathan Parker trying to hold off Steven Maggio though. Bonnie Klein falling back and another lap down. It seems heavy damage for that last incident. Now Ethan Patek-Moreno looks to the bottom on Cole Snyder as he's trying to work his way up through the field. And Cole Snyder is starting to struggle with those tires. Moreno started towards the back. He's worked his way up to 5th. He's had a great speed tonight. He's had great speed tonight so far. Challenge for race wins. He's got the pace to get up there. He's got about a second and a half to gain. He's going to clear Cole Snyder for that 4th place spot. John Parker sitting there in 2nd. Steven Maggio in 3rd. Back Kyle Taub, Nathan Lamont, they're side by side for 9th. Zachary Tyler way up the racetrack. This will allow him to go 3 wide off of turn number 2. As Zachary Meredith right behind him, and Donnie Kite pushing Tyler on the outside lane. This man the closest one on the racetrack, but Zachary Tyler really loose to the outside. He's tracking down the racetrack a little bit. He's trying to hold on to it. He saves it, but side by side now with Nathan Lamont as they're battling for 8th. Donnie Kite down to the middle. He clears Zachary Tyler's. Donnie Kite just trying to run his race, trying to pick up some points, and he's 8 laps down. Zachary Meredith on the bottom trying to get by Zachary Tyler. But Tyler with the run on the high side, making it work. Really starting to see these drivers really slip and slide. Those rear tires on fire for a lot of these drivers. But pretty much everyone's kind of staying the same. No one really can pass right now. No one can kind of keep it together in the other lane because they gotta run the other lane they're most comfortable in, and then they start to make a mistake and then they struggle to get by. That's what we're kind of seeing throughout the field. Zachary Meredith side by side with Zachary Tyler, but Kyle Taub down pit road. Oh, but Zachary Meredith really loose off turn 4. That's going to cost him some time. As Zachary Tyler and Brock Morris go by Justin Quimby as well. Kyle Taub takes 2 tires. He He comes off pit road, but where is Josh Adams? Josh Adams coming through 1 and 2. Josh Adams pitted 8 laps ago. He's got the undercut strategy on Kyle Tobb, so we'll see if those 2 tires work better than 8 lap 4 fresh tires. But Josh Adams trying to make the moves through the field as we're now just under 30 to go. And we've only really seen 3 people come down pit road, but there's Zachary Meredith. He was going to come down pit road. He was pretty far back from the field, about 5 seconds back from the race lead. See how much time he can make on the undercut strategy. So we'll see Zachary Meredith. Does he take 2 tires or 4? He goes up on the right sides. Zachary Meredith will take 4 fresh tires. Where would he cycle out compared to Josh Adams? As Josh Adams will be way out in front of him. As Jared Skinner, Zachary Tyler, they come down pit road right around for the top 10's position. So we haven't had any of the front runners come down pit road yet. Our furthest driver that was up front was Josh Adams. That pitted. How much longer will some of these drivers go? They stay out on the top 3, still stay out on the racetrack because they are pulling away for the rest of the field still. No other lead drivers coming out pit road. Brock Morris does. So everyone hovering around that top 10 are starting to come down pit road. But now it's Kyle Tobb and Josh Adams. They're both about equal lap times right now. Josh Adams just slightly faster, but Kyle Tobb on 2 fresh tires. And Josh Adams on 4 tires that are about 7 laps older compared to Kyle Tobb. The top 3 staying out, but now they're also starting to close the gaps to each other. It's Nick Kapiak, he'll come down pit road. One of our first drivers up in that top 5, around that top 5 area, to come down pit road. Now, does he take 2 tires or does he take 4? But now the battling for the race lead is Steven Maggio on the bottom. Now trying to get by Jonathan Parker. These top 3 all battling for the race lead here with 24 to go. But when are they going to pit? They're all gonna have to pit. As Steven Maggio will be able to go the farthest. Be able to go 4 laps longer, but he can only go to probably about 10 to go, but just a little bit shorter. But none of these drivers are going to be able to make it on fuel. Josh Adams still holds the lead of the drivers who've already pitted as he sits back in 8th, 25 seconds behind the car in front of John Osborne as Ethan Fonseca-Moreno pits from 4th. So now we're going to start to see Ethan Fonseca-Moreno's 2 seconds back. Now, can he close the gap up to the race lead with this strategy? Good to see a 2-tire strategy called. The only driver to take 2 so far has been Kyle Tobb, as everyone has been taking 4. I think knowing how loose it is. But now Ethan Fonseca-Moreno, he takes 2. I think 2 tires might be a little bit faster. That's what it typically is in this next gen. But Jonathan Parker, Steven Maggio, they come down pit road. Cole Snyder comes down pit road. So now our front runners coming down pit road now. Do they take 2 tires or do they take 4? As Josh Adams, he was not able to get by Ethan Fonseca-Moreno. Actually, there he was. There he is there. So Josh Adams currently our net race leader, as actually Kyle Tobb got by him. So Kyle Tobb, our net race leader for now, but Mark Kissweather comes down pit road. Nathan Lamont stays out on the racetrack. John Osborne stays out as well. So those 2 drivers yet to pit. Jonathan Parker coming down pit road along with Steven Maggio. Where will Kyle Tobb cycle as here he comes off of turn number 2? Can he get in front of these drivers for the race lead? He's getting up to speed. Is Jonathan Parker and Steven Maggio down to the 3? Tobb's gonna have to run. He's gonna go alongside Jonathan Parker to be side by side for the race lead. And Tobb might be able to clear off 4. He's gonna get in the wall though. He will clear off 4 though. So Kyle Tobb, our net race leader, once Nathan Lamont pits, but how hard is he gonna be able to hold off Jonathan Parker on fresh tires? So Nathan Lamont, our current race leaders, these drivers starting to unlap themselves. But where is Mark Kissweather? Mark Kissweather really slow stop. Actually, heavy damage on that left front tire. take a look what happened. Got up the speed on pit road. He had a lot of damage there. Maybe a little, just be a visual bug. It looks, yeah, I think it is a visual bug, but a very, he took 2 tires, but very far back compared to Jonathan Parker. Yeah, Mark Tiswether took 10 seconds more on pit road, so I think he really messed up his pit entry. So Mark Tiswether, very slow stop. And that's going to take him out of this chance for the race win unless he gets a caution. But they're side by side for the lead. Kyle Taub on 2 tires. Jonathan Parker on 2 tires as well. Steven Maggio also on 2 tires. Ethan Fonseca Moreno on 2 tires. So all these front runners on 2 tires, except for Josh Adams, but he's a little farther back, and also on older tires. The 2 tires working out now as Kyle Taub falls back to 3rd as Maggio tries to make the move on the bottom, but Parker clear for lead with 17 to go. But John Osborne, Nathan Lamont, they're both staying on the racetrack. They could go another probably 8 laps maximum. That's that's being a little generous, so they can really only go to 10 to go. These drivers not going to make it to the finish, so they're just probably trying to hope for a caution. They're side by side for the race lead. John Osborne on the outside, Nathan Lamont on the bottom. Battling for the lead, as these 2 will still have to pit. Battle for the night race lead between Steven Maggio and Jonathan Parker. As Kyle Taub starts to fall back on the 2 old tires. Nathan Moreno also on 2 tires. He's trying to close that gap down as well. He is 1 lap older tires compared to the drivers out in front of him. He's got Donnie Kite pushing behind him though. Nathan Lamont and John Osborne just staying out, gambling for a caution. As Shivani Klein will come down pit road. But John Osborne and Nathan Lamont still battling for that position, for that race lead, but they will both have to pit. They can probably go to about 10 to go. They're just hoping for a caution here, trying to gamble in the city known for gambling. Those 2 stay out for the race lead, trying to gamble for a caution. They are really the closest on the racetrack, but Ethan Fonseca Moreno now on the back bumper of Kyle Taub. Kyle Taub trying to fight for that net 3rd place spot with Ethan Fonseca Moreno. They have Donnie Kite, the lap car, right behind him. Right behind them. Side by side for the lead again. Nathan Lamont on the outside, John Osborne on the bottom. As Nathan Lamont clears off turn 4, probably about 4 more laps on fuel for these 2 drivers out in front. That's being generous for most likely it's probably maybe about 2 more laps. But probably have to see them pit within 5 laps no matter what for these race leaders. How much longer will they stretch it? John Osborne losing a lot of time now to Nathan Lamont, but Steven Maggio, he was close with Jonathan Parker before they both pitted, and he's staying right there as well. They're both on 2 tires, and Steven Maggio staying right behind him, trying to fight his way through in front of Jonathan Parker. These 2 seconds out in front of Ethan Fonseca Moreno, which will net rate P3 once the race leaders pit. Which now they both come down pit road. Did not get the caution they needed. Nathan Lamont a big lockup on pit entry, but those 2 are last drivers to pit. Everyone else will make it down pit. So everyone will be able to make it on fuel now as we cross the line for 11 to go. And now Parker and Maggio for the race win. How well can both of these drivers save their tires? They get the battling really hard. Does Moreno have a chance? We'll have to find out. About 10 to go here from Las Vegas. Parker trying to pick up another win here in the NAOR Cup Series, as he won a lot of races last season. Trying to pick up another win this season. One at Auto Club. But Steven Maggio on the bumper. You get pushed down into turn number 1. Car from the outside. Maggio to the bottom. Side by side now for the lead. As Maggio going to try to make the move on the bottom. It's been very hard to pass on the bottom throughout for everyone this entire race. But Maggio trying to make it work. As Parker's just giving him down there, knowing the inside lane is going to be harder to pass. But Parker's going to be careful in the outside lane. Doesn't want to get too loose and let Maggio get even more side by side. You get fully alongside, and that's going to allow the inside lane a much bigger advantage. But 8 to go. But the battle for the lead, the battle for the win. Off on turn number 2. They're side by side for the lead once again. As Maggio on the bottom. Now they got a lap car. Mike Campbell out right in front of him. As side by side for the lead. Coming to the line. As at the line there. Maggio led that lap with 7 to go. The battle for the lead. The battle for the win. As Matt Campbell going to get out of the way, stay up against the outside wall. But Parker trying to fight again, hard on the outside lane. Both these drivers on 2 tires, they stay side by side. Can Moreno catches Moreno's 2 seconds back. Last time by, they were all even lap time. But Parker on the outside lane, Maggio to the bottom. 6 laps to go here from Vegas. What lane will prevail? Can Maggio clear, or can Parker clear? Maggio's going to try and send it deep into 1. Can he clear off turn 2? Yes, he will. Well, Parker, does he have enough of a run to maybe pull across over down to the 3? He's going to down to the bottom. As Parker takes the move, side by side for the lead as they switch lanes. Us Parker now on the bottom. I think his tires are a little bit worse compared to Maggio's. Maggio's loose in the outside lane, but it's not going to matter. Maggio with the run. 5 to go here from Vegas, and Maggio clears for the lead. And now he's going to try and pull away. As Maggio saving his tires a little better in this final run. As he's trying to pull away from Parker with 5 to go. As that 48 machine getting smaller and smaller in that rear view mirror for Steven Maggio. As Parker trying to put all the fight he's got left in those tires. Trying to fight as hard as he can to get back, but it's just the gap just stringing further and further apart. And Steven Maggio saved his tires a little better. Now pulling away. Now he's just trying to get back to that white flag and hope for no more cautions. So we have one more battle back here with Cole Steiner and Kyle Taub. Kyle Taub on 2 tires. So well with Cole Steiner, but Cole Steiner much fresher, two fresh tires. It's about 12 lap difference. So 8 lap difference. Kyle Taub trying to fight and hold on for this top 4 finishing spot. So this time by, they'll be coming to 2 laps to go. Oh, Kyle Taub a little loose up on the outside. That's going to allow Snyder down to the bottom. As Snyder clears for 4th with just 2 to go. But Steven Maggio out in front. He chased down Jonathan Parker. He pitted with him on the same lap. Had a faster pit stop, but still was behind him. Had to work his way by. He saved his tires throughout the entire last stint there. And it worked out. He passed Jonathan Parker with 5 laps to go, and he takes the white flag as he pulls away for the 48 machine of Jonathan Parker. So go time car to 1 to go. As down to the 3 and 4 for the final time. Steven Maggio off of turn number 4. He's going to win here at Las Vegas. Steven Maggio wins in Sin City. That's a hard-fought battle between him and Jonathan Parker. He got the move done with just 5 laps to go. It took him a while to get it done, but he did it. And Steven Maggio picks up the win. But Jonathan Parker was just a little bit short of another race win, but Steven Maggio able to get it done. Still burnt down here in the front stretch grass. He will take it to Pizza and Wings Victory Lane. Steven Maggio burns it down here from Las Vegas. And we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with our top 3 interviews here from Las Vegas.
is going to take the victory 128 laps without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's going to get through it all and score his first career win.
Saturday Night Racing League throwback at Charlotte goes to Josh Adams.
NJBDesigns.com, we specialize in transforming your vehicle into a work of art by revolutionizing the way you see your car with the hottest trends in sim racing. Choose from a wide range of colors, textures, finishes to promote your business and sponsors in style. Whether you're looking to add a sleek matte finish, a flashy chrome accent, or a custom design that turns heads, our designers have you covered. If you want to stand out in the crowd, visit NJBDesigns.com today and let our team of professionals transform your vision into reality.
Welcome back here to Las Vegas as we just saw Steven Maggio pick up the race win. Before we get to our top 3 interviews, let's take a quick look at our results for tonight's race here from Las Vegas. Steven Maggio able to pick up the race win. Jonathan Parker finishing second. 8th, Fonseca Moreno finishing 3rd. Cole Center in 4th. Kyle Topp rounds at the top 5. Nick Hapiak in 6th. Brock Morris in 7th. Jared Skinner finishing 8th. Zach Meredith 9th. And Mark Kisworth running our top 10. Finishing 11th tonight was Josh Adams. Nathan Lamont finishing 12th. Zachary Tyler 13th. John Osborne in 14th. Mike Campbell 15th. Chris Wright in 16th. Hunter Peach in 17th. Hunter Senior in 18th. Giovanni Klein finishing 19th. And Donnie Kent running our top 20. Justin Quimby finishing 21st. Dylan Chappell 22nd. Sam Wade 23rd. Josh Arnold 24th. And Braden Hall rounds out our 25 car field here tonight. But now we go down to Pizza and Wings Victory Lane with Steven Maggio as he was able to get the move done with just 5 laps to go over Jonathan Parker. How are you able to get that move done for the race win?
I just drove it in super hard and it stuck. I mean, I drove it in way harder than I really think I should have been able to, and it just wrapped the bottom so well. And yeah, after that I was able to just kind of smooth sail away from JP there.
Yeah, and you were able to kind of save your tires a little bit better. Both of you seem to very slip and slide around. Just how was that tire wear tonight, and just how did that really make that race car handle out there?
It was fun, man. I mean, I enjoyed this race. That was like a top 10 league race I've ever done. It was so fun. Like the tires wore, and we got spread out, and we were, like you said, we were slipping and sliding everywhere. Like there was a lap where JP was so loose off of 4. And in my head, I was like, save it. And he saved and he was fine. And the next lap, I did the same thing where I thought I was going through the grass and I saved it. But, I mean, we were just sliding all over the place. We were sideways and just hanging on to it. And it was so fun, man. And then I took 2 tires there and it, like, tightened up, which is weird because usually I take 2 tires, like, at the tight tracks to, like, give me some more rotation and you know, get a little looser. And it made me tighter here, which is really weird. But, I mean, it worked into my favor. And yeah, I was able to get it done, but that was really fun. I loved that race.
It's definitely a very fun battle, and you were able to get by with just only 5 to go. But before we send you off on your way, any sponsor thing for tonight's race win?
Yeah, shout out Josh for hosting the league. Like I said, loved the race, so shout out to him for hooking us all up with this fun race, and shout out to you guys in the booth for what I'm sure was a great broadcast. I'll watch it back. And shout out JP and Ethan. You know, we don't have like any official teams, but you know, I consider them my teammates. And Marcus and Wither was up there too. And I don't know if he sped on pit road or something, but he was up there before we had those green flag pit stops. And yeah, that's about it. So thank you guys.
And once again, congrats on your race win. We'll see you next, well, not next week, but in 2 weeks at Charlotte.
Thank you.
So Steven Maggio, our race winner here from Las Vegas. And now we move to our second place finisher of Jonathan Parker. Jonathan Parker just had a battle there with just 5 to go. And you're able to just hold on to second, but just not able to get the win there. What do you think could be done differently to maybe hold off for just a few more laps?
I don't really know. I just couldn't drive it in as hard as he could. I made my speed by backing up the corner and getting huge runs off, but with that lighter fuel load especially, I couldn't drive it in any harder than I really was because it was just so lazy on entry. So I just had to back it up in order to make up for that speed. And when he just wrapped the bottom and went right around me, I'm like, I couldn't do that if he gave me 100 tries. So kudos to him for making that stick, making that work, and kind of hanging on, because if I could just drive it in a little bit harder, I probably would have been able to hang on to it, but it just didn't work out like that.
Yeah, mention that just that slipping and sliding around and handling. Just how is that able to play a factor in just what lane you're able to use? As you said, you weren't really able to use the bottom very much, but just how does those lanes play out, and which lanes felt better to you, and just what one was kind of the better one to pass?
Yeah, strictly bottom. It was too bumpy, just too unstable for me. I felt like that middle lane was better, and if I could kind of diamond it, like kind of enter high and then exit low, kind of go around those bumps, especially in 3 and 4, and it was okay. That would work. But if I enter on the bottom, I'm usually out to lunch here, especially since they've updated the track. So I was kind of one-dimensional in that way. But the top also did come in, especially in 3 and 4 later in runs. But I couldn't really take advantage of that bottom line like a couple others could.
Yeah, but you were still able to hold on and get a very solid second place finish and start to build your momentum going into the rest of the regular season. And we do have a little off week next week before we head to Charlotte, but overall still able to hold a very solid second place position. Before we send you off on your way, any sponsor thing for tonight's second place run?
I'd like to thank Lowe's and Cobalt Tools and Christian for making this scheme. He's awesome, and I'd like to thank ETB for being in the call. And I'd like to thank Chad Neural and anyone out there watching, and you guys up in the booth.
Once again, congrats on your second place finish. We'll see you in 2 weeks at Charlotte.
Thank you.
So that was our second place finisher of Jonathan Parker. We'll move to our third place finisher of Ethan Fonseca Moreno. If I can find him in the Discord, and I cannot. So we'll move to our fourth place finisher of Cole Snyder, if I can find him in the Discord. I cannot find him there either. Kyle Taub, though, our fifth place finisher. We'll bring in our fifth place finisher of Kyle Taub as either our third or fourth place finisher here for the interview. So Kyle Taub sitting in a fifth place spot there. You took 2 tires. It pitted a lot earlier than most of the rest of the field. What was your game plan with that strategy in that final run?
Well, before the final pit stop, I shredded my my right rear, and just I couldn't get it. The temperature back down and under control. So, kind of threw a Hail Mary there to try and get whatever track position I lost back. And in the end, it got me a top 5.
Yeah, you're still able to get a very solid, strong finish tonight, and with a very solid top 5. But how are you gonna build this momentum going into the off week next week? And then going into Charlotte in 2 weeks, and just how are you going to use this off week to kind of prepare for next week at Charlotte?
Yeah, I think I did a lot of good things on the short run. I was a lot more aggressive on restarts than I have been in the past, and it got me up front pretty quickly. So, good things there. Just gotta manage the tires a little better.
Yeah, well, but you're still able to pick up a solid 5th place finish tonight. Before we send off on your way, any sponsor link for tonight's top 5?
Shout out to myself, I guess. Tubbs Graphics, a little shameless plug. If you need any paints for iRacing, you can find me on X at BeastFTSE.
All right, once again, congrats on your top 5 tonight. We'll see you in 2 weeks at Charlotte.
Yep, thank you.
So that was Kyle Taub, our 5th place finisher. There here at Las Vegas, but out in front it was Steven Maggio tonight, and he was able to pick up the race win. But as I mentioned in those interviews, a week off next week for the NAOR Cup Series, as they will take a week off for the real life Coca-Cola 600, as they will go to Charlotte in 2 weeks' time. But coming up next here on the Legends Racing Network, on Monday night we'll have the Charlotte at Charlotte will be the 5 Points Racing League Turnkey Network Solution Series at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And on Wednesday night, we'll have the Superstar Cup going to North Wilkesboro at 8:15 Eastern Time. And on Thursday night, we'll have the Undisputed Cup Series for their Atlanta doubleheader at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday night. And then we're going to have a week break for the NAOR Cup Series. And they will go to Las Vegas on May 30th. And the Stampede Racing League, they'll be back on June 8th after kind of their little summer break here. In May, as they will be going to Iowa on June 8th. But a lot of fun races coming up next year on the Legends Racing Network. But so long here from Las Vegas. I'm Aaron Brown. I'll see you next time here on the Legends Racing Network. So long from Las Vegas.